Think you've seen it all when it comes to paranormal videos? Well, you better think again. Today we're diving into clips so wild, they'll make you question everything you thought you knew about cryptids and the unexplained. My name is Steve. This happens to be Classified Captures. Now, before we start the video, let's take a look at this first clip because you are not gonna believe what comes after. I know you guys are wondering why a camera is traveling down a dark hole, and there is an explanation for that. Jason was hiking with his friends and family when they came across what looked like a massive hole in the middle of nowhere. Many would have taken pictures and continued their journey, but not Jason. He wanted to see what was down there. Given how deep the hole was, there was no realistic way to see what was down below. It was at this point that Jason got creative and decided to drop his GoPro with a torchlight. That's why we have the footage you're currently watching. What he discovered down there is, however, a subject of many debates. As the camera approaches the bottom of the hole, we start to hear what sounds like scratching. Jason initially believes this is a coyote. When the camera reaches the bottom, there's a canine lying down in it, but it doesn't appear to be moving. Confused by the whole thing, Jason uploaded the clip online, soliciting opinions and views. Some were quick to point out there had to be something in there with the canine if the scratching sounds were to be believed. It was from this quest for truth that some members of the paranormal community discovered a face in the darkness just after the clip moves from the dog. Take a good, hard look. Do you see it? Describe it in the comments section for us.
I'm going to slow it down for a minute, but doesn't that look like a coyote right there? It's really hard to tell. Here it comes back in the screen again, but boy, that sure looks like a dog to me down there at the bottom. Okay, what in the hell is this? Now watch. Ready? Wait. Did you see that? That is a face. This thing is definitely haunted. I didn't notice that the first time, but look at that. I don't know what the hell that is.
As you can see, this is an ultrasound and it's been going viral. A pregnant woman had gone in for a routine scan, nothing unusual about that, but then the image was printed out, and that's when she noticed something strange. Inside the ultrasound, clear as day, was a shape that looked like Jesus on the cross. At first, she thought maybe she was just seeing things, but when she showed it to her husband, he saw the same thing. They even zoomed in closer, and unbelievably, the image was still there. The woman now believes this could be some sort of divine sign, maybe a blessing over her unborn child. Of course, others argue it could just be a coincidence, a random shape in the scan that happens to look familiar. But whether it's faith or chance, the image has left many people stunned. So what do you think? Next, take a good look at this clip from the Palm Springs area. What do you think we're looking at? The original uploader of this clip thinks it's something that was being driven with intention. When you look at the clip, you can definitely tell why they're thinking that. The big question now, however, is what exactly are we looking at? It's hard to say, but there are existing hypotheses. Some believe it's just another UFO flying over their desert area, whereas others think this is most likely an AI-generated piece of footage. Take a good look and share your opinion. This dog seemed to sense something its owner couldn't. The woman who owned the dog was staying over at her dad's house, sleeping in her old bedroom. In the corner of that room, she had set up a small memorial for her previous dog who'd passed away. That same corner was exactly where her current dog kept staring, barking, and growling. She decided to pull out her phone and record just to capture the strange behavior. At first, she didn't think too much of it since dogs bark at shadows all the time, but then things got weird. The dog kept lunging toward the memorial, barking louder and louder. Suddenly, in the middle of all this, the dog was pushed back as if something invisible had kicked it aside. The poor thing stumbled back and yelped. Now, alarmed, the woman rewatched the footage, and that's when she noticed something else. One of the pages of the memorial in the corner had shifted on its own. Now, she can't shake the feeling that her dog was trying to warn her. Was it the spirit of her old dog, or was there something else in that corner? A worker at a construction site in the forest caught something on camera that left him too shaken to return. It was late at night, and he'd been the last one on site, finishing up some tasks before heading home. Suddenly, he heard a strange scratching noise coming from behind one of the trucks. Thinking maybe it was an animal, he decided to investigate, but what he found was anything but normal. Crouched low to the ground, hiding behind the tires, was a pale creature. Its skin looked almost white in the dim light, its body thin and unnatural. The man froze, trying to process what he was looking at. The creature then realized it had been spotted and bolted into the darkness at a disturbing speed. The footage didn't give a close-up, but it was enough to confirm the man wasn't imagining it. Reports say this wasn't the first time workers at that site had experienced something eerie. In fact, after this encounter, several of them refused to return, and the company eventually had to bring in fresh crews just to finish the project. Could this be the very creature that's been terrorizing people at this site? Imagine being able to summon sunlight with the press of a button, even in the dead of night. Well, that's exactly what a startup called Reflect Orbital claims it's working on. A network of space-based mirrors that could redirect sunlight back to the Earth whenever and wherever you want it. Sounds like science fiction, right? Some are already whispering that this could be part of a bigger agenda, with governments controlling when and where light shines, or corporations literally selling daylight as a commodity. Others fear it could be tied to secret weather manipulation projects, the kind conspiracy circles have warned about for years. After all, controlling light means controlling crops, sleep cycles, and maybe even human behavior. But before we grab our tinfoil hats, let us look at what is actually happening. Right now, the whole thing is still just a simulation. No satellites have been launched, and the science of bouncing sunlight around the Earth is unproven. Still, the company has secured millions in funding and even government interest, meaning this idea is not just a random internet rumor. If it works, it could mean lit-up cities at night, emergency lights during disasters, or even boosting solar panels after sunset. The real question is, does this sound like progress? Or does it feel like humanity is stepping into dangerous, unnatural territory? I'd love to hear what you think. Is this the future we want, or just another way to play God with forces we do not fully understand?
Dude, check this out.
What do you got?
Looks like Reflect Orbital has a new lighting service where you can like play with the spot.
Oh,
but
awesome.
yeah, watch this. Just bring it over to us here. Isn't that crazy?
No way!
I don't know how many times I have to say this. Messing with Mother Nature is only gonna kick us in the keister. But the governments don't care, do they, as long as they get their money. This one is starting to really freak people out. What you're looking at happened in Italy. A plane traveling from London to Egypt was suddenly forced to make an emergency stop in Venice after multiple passengers began feeling sick mid-flight. Ambulances and fire crew rushed to the airport, but what really unsettled people was the fact that the responders arrived in full hazmat suits. They boarded the aircraft carrying strange scanning devices, specialist equipment, and sealed containers as though they were preparing for a biohazard threat. Passengers, who were already on edge, quickly took out their phones and filmed. The sight of hazmat teams moving cautiously into the cabin, well, it made the whole thing look terrifying. Since the pandemic, people have been extremely sensitive to these types of emergencies, and seeing this unfold in real life has only added to the unease. For now, no official explanation has been given beyond passengers falling ill, but the atmosphere around it feels much more mysterious. What do you think happened? Moving on, we got this strange clip that's got many people talking on various paranormal pages. In the clip, we see what looks like a figure moving in the painting set up on the wall. What's strange about this is the fact that the camera captures no one in that hallway. I know what you're going to be thinking. Probably the individual in the clip is at the far end of the hallway in the blind spot of the camera. I may have considered that if not for the shadow that follows after. Do you see it at the left side of the frame, on the wall just before the painting? If this footage is to be believed, we've got a being that's basically invisible to the camera, but seeing it on the painting because of the glass, and then somehow it casts a shadow on the wall. Yeah, I don't know how to explain this either. Maybe you can tell me. What if I told you that during the Cold War, the US Army secretly sprayed chemicals over an unsuspecting neighborhood in St. Louis and never told the people living there? Between the 1950s and 1960s, zinc cadmium sulfide particles were dispersed over predominantly black communities, released from rooftops and vehicles under the cover of smokescreen tests. At least, that's what the officials claimed. But think about it. Why choose a poor, marginalized neighborhood for these experiments? Many believed it was more than just a test. Some see it as part of a larger pattern where vulnerable populations are used as human subjects without consent in the name of national security. Now, decades later, documents and research has confirmed that the spraying really happened, but the government insists the chemicals were harmless. Still, cadmium is known toxin, and residents who grew up in those neighborhoods have long reported health problems like cancer and respiratory issues. Logic says these tests were reckless at best, and at worst, they were a betrayal of public trust. The conspiracy theorists believe the government knew exactly what they were doing. The chilling part is that no one has ever held them accountable. Would you consider this Cold War paranoia gone too far, or something much darker? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. This photo was taken by a group of teenagers who were having a sleepover. Like most teens do, they spent part of the night joking around, taking selfies and snapping random pictures for fun. But when they went back through the photos the next day, one image stood out from the rest. In the photograph, there was a hazy, dark, shadowy figure standing in the room with them. None of the teens recalled anyone being in that spot, and they swore that during the night they hadn't seen or felt anything unusual at all. It wasn't a trick of lighting, and it didn't look like any of their friends. The strange part is how clearly defined the shape looks. So what do you think they captured that night? A shadow, a person, a lingering spirit, or just a creepy coincidence? We featured many clips from all over the USA where there seems to be something moving underground and vibrating heavily. The latest one comes from Yellowstone. Just pay attention to the bottle. The one filming placed it on the ground to prove that the clip was not edited and that the audio was not added via editing, as we have suspected in the past. The uploader, who is also a homeowner, states this is the second pot over a quarter mile they've experienced. Just think about the fact that it might be magma and, well, maybe Yellowstone could erupt soon. Others feel this is nothing more than a machine drilling tunnels underground. The mystery still remains, though, as no one can convincingly and factually explain what's happening. Does any of you have an idea, or at least a theory? If you do, let's hear it. Paraglider recently shared a video online, and it's quickly caught people's attention. He was gliding down the rugged mountain terrain when something unexpected came into view. From his vantage point in the air, he spotted a massive bipedal creature moving across the slopes below. The figure was huge, towering in size with arms that seemed to hang past its knees. For many who've seen the footage, the first thought is obvious. This looks exactly like the legendary Bigfoot. The way it moved, its sheer bulk and its long swinging arms all matched up with the countless descriptions from alleged Bigfoot encounters over the years. But is this genuine or just another hoax? Well, some viewers claim it looks too staged, almost like a person in a suit planted there for attention. Others argue that the way it walks and its proportions don't match a human body at all, suggesting that this could in fact be the real deal. Some also say it's AI generated. So what do you think? Now, this clip is an interesting one. We first see a driver drop off a lady who promises to pay. She claims she has to go in and get the money. The driver is initially hesitant, but allows it when the lady drops her personal items, stating she'll take them when she returns. He sits for a long time waiting for her, but she doesn't come out. Fearing he might have been scammed, he goes to knock on the door and the man comes out. He makes the complaint and shows the man the lady's picture. The man is shocked and tells the driver that the image is that of his late wife. The driver brings out the diary, and the man says it's his late wife's diary. He pays the money owed, and the driver looks upset as he sits back in. He was probably wondering what just happened, leading to him uploading the clip. Many stated they couldn't call it a scam since the man paid the money owed. They wondered if this was the real deal. Others also argued that it's most likely a hoax, an attempt to go viral. I'm not sure what to think. What do you guys make of this?
No de nada para servirle.
Solo que no tengo el efectivo, tendré que ir por él.
¿Segura? Oiga, es que Miguel me marca otro viaje.
Sí, por favor, no me tardo mucho. Mire, dejo aquí mis cosas.
Hola amigo, buenas noches. Solamente por la señorita que entró ahorita hace un momentito.
Vivo solo, no entró nadie.
No, amigo, no, sí, espera, sí, es que yo la traje, soy el del Uber. Nada más porque dijo que entraba para agarrar el dinero y pagarme.
No, de verdad, vivo solo. No.
Sí, permítame, mire, hasta me dejó esto.
¿Quién te lo dio?
No.
Mi tía, ¿verdad?
No.
Ella se murió hace recién.
Well, look, I'm no ornithologist, okay, but I'm pretty sure birds aren't supposed to do that. First of all, the bird spreads its wings, which some birds do when they sunbathe, crows do. What I haven't seen any crow do, however, is grow an additional set of wings like this one does. As though that was not weird enough, it launches up like you would expect a superhero to do when it flies. That's not how birds fly, at least not any that we know of. This has led to debates online on the authenticity of the footage. Some believe it's legit and state that this is a glitch. Others think it was faked so people would believe the Matrix theory is true. What's your take on it? A ghost hunter in Northland decided to put one of the region's most infamous haunted forests to the test. He set up his tent directly beneath a tree that locals claim holds dark energy and restless spirits. To document his night, he installed a motion sensor trail camera aimed at his tent, hoping to catch any unusual activity while he slept. In the middle of the night, the camera suddenly shifted upward toward the branches of the tree. What it captured has since unsettled many who've seen the footage. Hanging just in front of the tree was what appeared to be the figure of a person draped in a white robe, with long black hair cascading down, almost as if floating in midair. The ghost hunter said he was deeply shaken when he reviewed the footage. Some believe this apparition could be a soul trapped within the tree, perhaps a victim whose spirit never moved on. Others have suggested it might be a guardian of the forest watching over the land. But skeptics argue it could simply be a hoax. So you tell us, what are your thoughts? This was recorded by a group of friends who were exploring the great outdoors in search of something unusual. You know, those young ones with a desire for the taste of the paranormal. So while out, they noticed something moving within the woods. It got this silver or off-gray look with a head and body that appear thin and elongated. They film for a while until the being starts moving away from them. They run after it but are unable to catch up. They released follow-up footage later that showed something lighting up just in the sky around them before they lose track of it. Now they uploaded this as evidence of first contact or something along those lines. Many others shared that they had experienced such as well, which made the whole thing look authentic. Not everyone is buying it though, as some suspect they put together this whole thing to make the pages blow. Some have even pointed out that the alien looks exactly like you'd expect unrefined CGI characters to look. Well, you guys have seen it too now, so I'll let you be the judge on this one. In 1997, NASA did something that sounds almost too strange to be true. They launched Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 into the void of space, each carrying a golden disc. But this was not just a scientific experiment, it was a message, a cosmic handshake sent to anyone or anything that might be out there watching. The disc is incredible. Encased in gold-plated copper, it holds greetings in 55 languages, music spanning every culture and era, the sounds of nature from thunder to whale calls and images of our world, from cities to forests, from people to machines. It is like humanity pressed send on a signal to the universe saying, well, this is who we are you out there? And etched it on its surface are instructions for how to play it, plus a pulsar map pointing straight back to Earth, almost like leaving breadcrumbs for someone or something to find. But here's the spooky part. Some researchers have speculated, what if this is not just an innocent greeting? What if we're unknowingly broadcasting our presence to forces that are already out there observing us from the shadows? The odds of the record ever being intercepted are slim, but the act itself hints at a deeper curiosity or maybe a hidden warning encoded in gold. The gold record sits somewhere between science and mystery, a relic of humanity reaching out into the dark, asking questions the universe may already be ready to answer. Now, it's been a while since we did this one, but when this clip was sent to us, I felt like it was the perfect clip to reintroduce our bonus segment. Can any of you identify this creature and tell us something unique about it? The first 3 and best of those 3 comments win a feature and shout out in our next episode. May the best man or woman or paranormal or Bigfoot, lizard man or... Oh, wait, you get the picture, right? Good. May the best being win. One thing scientists never seem to have enough of is time, and maybe that's why so many of them are obsessed with trying to crack its code, from jumping into the future, slipping back into the past, or bending the very flow of time itself. Now, new reports suggest that researchers may have actually confirmed the existence of something called time mirrors. A time mirror isn't like a regular mirror that reflects your face. Instead, it reflects waves, but not just sound or light waves. Scientists say it can actually bounce back events themselves, almost as if reality can be made to replay. Imagine dropping a stone into water, and the ripples move outward. With a time mirror, those ripples can suddenly reverse and come rushing back in, as though the event is happening again. If this is true, it means time isn't just moving in one direction like we've always believed. Under the right conditions, it could bend, fold, and even repeat. So are we on the edge of discovering how to replay moments of the past or even step into them? Now, I'm not sure how long it's been since you took an interest in paranormal topics, but there are some who believe that there's a fourth dimension. These dimensions, according to them, is a hidden realm where many of the things we perceive to be spiritual exist. Why am I talking about this when you're looking at a guy staring into his room using a glass? Well, the answer is simple. He believes you can see the fourth dimension using glass. Is this something you're willing to try, or would you say someone's got one too many screws loose? Let's hear your thoughts. This next clip is a bit of a short one, but pay attention. The clip was uploaded by a group of explorers going through an abandoned building. The building, according to them, was empty. They enjoyed themselves going through it and experienced nothing paranormal. At least that's what they told themselves until they saw the clip playing on your screens. Not sure if you can see it, but there's something or someone staring at them in the clip. The funny thing, however, is they didn't notice this while they were there filming. It took some users to point this out. A friend of theirs who participated in the expedition was so terrified that they couldn't speak or talk after users pointed out the individual or thing in the clip. So what do you make of this? This comes from the Philippines International Airport, taken back in 2020. The airport itself was built over an old military base, and many locals claim the area is extremely haunted. For reasons no one can fully explain, reports of ghostly activity spiked around 2020, and that's when this eerie footage was captured. In the video, we see what looks like a little girl in a long Victorian-style dress slowly walking through one of the airport hallways. Her presence seems completely out of place in the modern setting, and it left people who saw it unsettled. So was this truly a ghostly child caught on camera, or is it a person in a costume? Back in the 1800s, deep in the dense forests of Abkhazia, villagers began whispering about a strange woman who didn't quite fit in the world they knew. Her name was Zana. She was massive, close to 6.5 feet tall, with skin covered in dark hair and the strength that made her seem almost superhuman. People swore she could outrun galloping horses, tearing through the forest with strides no ordinary human could match. They even said she could dive into rivers with deadly currents and come out the other side as if it were nothing. Eventually, hunters cornered her near the village of Tekina, and she was brought under the control of a nobleman named Edgi Ganaba. Even then, though, her wild, untamable nature never really left her. To the locals, she wasn't just a woman, she was the All-Masty, the legendary Russian wild being, a cousin to the Sasquatch. But here's where the story gets even stranger. While in captivity, Zana bore children with men from the village. Two in particular stood out, Quit and Kuknar. Unlike their mother, they looked completely human, but villagers claimed they carried her uncanny strength and resilience. Quid especially was said to have performed feats of power no ordinary man could attempt. Kugna, on the other hand, slipped more easily into everyday life, but still carried the quiet weight of a mother's mystery. To this day, their bloodline is believed to run through Abkhazia, a living reminder that Zana's legend wasn't just a tale, it left for descendants. Of course, science couldn't resist stepping in. Modern DNA tests revealed she had sub-Saharan African ancestry, which raised the theory that she might have been a runaway slave during the Ottoman era. But here's the catch. Those results didn't explain the incredible speed, strength, and raw feral presence people remembered. Was she human, something else, or a little of both? Well, it's hard to say, but you've seen the image, so what do you think? Did you hear that scream? Now, the internet has been up in arms trying to determine if that was a human, an animal, or a paranormal entity. The debate has been brutal, yet there are some who hold on to the view that it's just another human trying to scare them. Some find this assertion ludicrous and believe that it most definitely has to be an animal, say a bobcat or something, depending on where this was filmed. There's also the sect arguing it's a paranormal entity messing with them. Take a good look at the clip and share your assertion as well. According to the man who shared this video, this strange woman came up to his metal fence in the middle and, without hesitation, climbed over it. She looked human, but the details didn't add up. Her body was unnaturally thin and the center of her head was hairless. Within seconds, she scaled the fence with ease, something you wouldn't expect from someone who looked that frail and old. Viewers were divided. Some were deeply disturbed, believing this could be a witch, a spirit, or even something non-human pretending to be a woman. Others speculated it might just be a person who's not too well, maybe suffering from illness or under the influence of something, but then there's a third group who insist this is AI-generated content. If it's AI, why make something this unsettling? And if it's not, then what exactly climbed that man's fence? A security camera captured a remarkable event during a torrential downpour. At first, a sharp whistle-like sound pierces the air, followed by a sudden blinding flash of lightning that produces a deafening thunder. As the lightning dissipates, a strange, eerie red hue appears on the ground and all the lights in the vicinity go out. It's fascinating to note how the red hue seems to linger on the ground as though something has been left behind. One commenter on the video speculated that the incident was caused by lightning hitting a transformer. It's an interesting theory, but what do you think? As technology continues to advance at a rapid pace, scientists are exploring the possibility of transferring human consciousness to other bodies to achieve immortality. While this might seem like a distant concept, it's much closer than most of us might think. In a podcast featuring Billy Carson, he explains how human consciousness has already been transferred to robots. Listen.
Transferring animals into a computer, which they did a monkey, 2045.com. Look it up. For the monkey's in the computer, his mind is, but the body's dead. Then by 2010 or 2012, they were supposed to have been able to transfer a human consciousness into a robot. They've already done that. And the United States as well. DARPA has a project called the Avatar Project. In an Avatar Project, they have a symbiotic link from a soldier underneath a mountain somewhere, like in a bunker, connected to a field robot. And it controls it through a mind connection. If the robot is destroyed, of course, the soldier doesn't die. And the only thing that stopped us from transferring consciousness from one brain to another was data storage.
Did you hear that? Soldiers can now remotely control robots that they are symbiotically linked to, even if they're far away. This is similar to the concept seen in the popular movie Avatar, where humans control genetically engineered alien bodies. This symbiotic relationship between soldiers and robots has massive implications for warfare and raises ethical concerns. How do you think the masses reacted? Well, take a look. This development is particularly significant because it indicates that we are rapidly approaching a time when humans will be able to transfer their consciousness to other bodies. While there are many good applications for this, we just can't ignore what the negative ones could be. What do you also think about this? The image on your screen was taken by a couple who went out to enjoy the great outdoors. To immortalize the experience, they took a lot of pictures and videos. What they didn't count on, however, was capturing a third party they didn't even know was at the location with them. After scrutinizing the image on your screen, the duo realized that there was a strange being in the image they had taken. Although they didn't know what being or creature it was there. They uploaded it to one of our paranormal platforms seeking answers. Some stated this had to be legit, while others were very skeptical. Take this comment, for instance. I mean, his line of reasoning is a lot like Julius's, but when you think about it, he does have a point. Others in the community, however, insist it had to be a cryptid or otherworldly. Which of these schools of thought are you personally likely to adapt? Take a look at this mukbang. It's certainly not for the faint-hearted. These men have a bowl filled with large black spiders paired with lettuce, peppers, and a dipping sauce. One by one, they grab a spider, wrap it in a lettuce leaf, dip it in the sauce, and take a crunchy bite. Phew, that sound is unmistakably crispy and crunchy. It's unsettling to watch, especially knowing what's on the menu, but somehow they seem to be enjoying themselves as they eat. Insects and arachnids have been part of various cultures' diets for centuries, especially in regions where they're seen as a sustainable source of protein. Though it might seem extreme to some, it's quite common in parts of Asia and South America. These cultures embrace insects like crickets, grasshoppers, and even spiders as a normal part of the diet. Insects are considered to be great alternatives to traditional protein sources like fish and meat, as they're rich in nutrients and environmentally friendly to farm. The real question is, would you dare to try something like this, or is it just too much for you?
Barto Küçüktepe köyünde akşam saat 5:30 sıralarında ben hayvanları otlatırken havadan aniden bir cismin ortaya çıktığını ben
In the skies of the Vardo district of Mus, this was captured. The clip shows a dark object with a human-like body. You can see the shoulders, arms, and legs, but the head is not visible. What could this be? One commenter said it was a drone with clothes on. I guess that could make sense. Another commenter said that this was a flying Bigfoot. I mean, look closely. This thing has thick arms and legs. A sassy commenter also said this. Oh, look, another video of a balloon-like object moving in a balloon-like way. Another also called it a balloon as well. It's almost like these guys knew what I was going to say and said it, but seriously, what do you guys think this is? Have you ever looked at a child and thought to yourself that they're not as clueless as we make them out to be? Well, if you haven't, this next clip might just change your mind.
The tree.
Honey, there's nobody in the tree.
Up there.
You can see somebody?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I don't see anybody, honey.
I see a girl.
You see a girl?
Yeah.
Oh, is she okay?
Yeah.
What's she doing?
They tell me. It's Dad.
As you can already tell from the clip, this woman parked her car by a tree with a child in the back seat. The child kept pointing to the tree and claimed to see a girl on the tree who had died.
It's Dad.
Honey, I don't think there's a dead girl in the tree, baby. There's nothing in the tree.
It's Dad. Look, see? I see it. It's Dad.
What? The tree is dead?
No, a girl's dead.
Why do you think there's a girl dead?
Despite the woman's best efforts to find this girl or any sign of a presence, there was nothing or no one around on the tree. Naturally, this upset her a little, which is why she recorded and uploaded online to search for answers. Naturally, the discussions and arguments were all over the place with this clip. Some people called it a gift, while others stated that this kind of thing was natural with kids. Someone even shared a story featuring her son. Kids see ghosts. My son, when he was 2, asked me, "Who's that guy?" and pointed in our hallway. My husband was out of town at the time. I asked him if the guy was scary, and he said no, but I do believe he was seeing something. Another also shared her own experiences as a child. When I was 6, I saw an old man with a hat standing on the porch looking through the sliding glass door. At night, I screamed and my parents ran into the bedroom to find out why the man disappeared. Later, they received a call that Grandpa passed. As interesting as these sound, not everyone believes in these encounters. One comment suggested that it was just a figment of the child's wild imagination. While it's true that children have an active imagination and are prone to make up stories, these encounters are all too evident to ignore. After all, there's no smoke without fire. But what do you think? Did this child see something, or was it just a figment of their imagination?
Dad.
Honey, I don't think there's a dead girl in the tree, baby. There's nothing in the tree.
It's Dad. Look, see? I see it.
Walking away from fluoride, we turn our eyes to the skies, where there appears to be a man walking, and yes, walking in the sky. This was uploaded to one of our platforms by a lady whose trip was interrupted by this sight. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary capture, but once she starts zooming in, we see a white being walking on the clouds like a man would. The difference here is the fact that the being appears to be made of the same substance as the cloud. Is this even possible? Well, I'm no Julius, but even I know that's not supposed to be possible. This was recorded in China, and it's caused quite a stir on our platforms. A number of people who saw this believed the deities were giving us proof of their existence. A chunk of the community felt that it was ludicrous and believed this was nothing more than AI. You've seen the clip too, right? Which side are you leaning toward? If none of their perspectives resonate with you, how would you interpret what's happening? Let us know in the comments section. In this eerie footage from Brazil's dense forests, what seems like a towering, long-necked creature at first glance quickly morphs into something far more unnerving, a giant snake standing upright. The sheer size and height of this serpent is jaw-dropping, making viewers question if such a sight could really be possible. This sighting has people talking about the legendary Yakumama, a mythical giant serpent from South American folklore. The Yakumama, often described as a snake so massive it could devour anything in its path, is said to inhabit the Amazon River and its surrounding areas. According to local legends, the Yakumama has been feared for centuries, with stories of it being able to create massive waves by simply thrashing in the water. Could this footage be a real-life encounter with the legendary Yakumama, or is it just an unusually large snake captured on camera? What do you think? Speaking of strange humanoid creatures, a subscriber sent this next one in. While the original post stated this was a mythic humanoid, that is, a mythological creature that's only part human, the subscriber believes it's simply human and nothing else. I've reviewed the clip several times, and I must say that while it does have a strange appearance, it might simply be a human and nothing else. The clip may have been edited, or he or she may be wearing a costume. That might account for the strange look. Beyond that, I don't see anything paranormal happening unless, of course, I'm under the power of this mythic human and it's making me say that to hide its identity. What do you think? Not everyone believes in paranormal events or entities. I'm pretty sure a number of you watching this video might also share the same sentiments. But how do we explain this? This incident took place around 3 a.m. when a motorcyclist was on his way home. A person suddenly appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the highway he was on. Naturally, this startled him, but just before he could properly react, the individual just disappeared. Fortunately, the rider managed to keep his composure and didn't panic. That could have resulted in a tragedy. While it's true that tech can be used to create convincing fakes, many doubted this was fake. They believed it was the real deal. Take a look at some of the comments. Several viewers claimed that this incident took place in the Philippines. Some even stated that they had seen it on television. Some went as far as analyzing the clip and stating that there were two, not one, individuals in the clip. But what do you see, and do you believe that this is indeed a ghost encounter or just a hoax? Imagine being out on the open ocean, the sun shining down, the waves gently rocking your boat. Suddenly you notice something unusual, a disturbance in the water, something big moving beneath the surface. As you can see, that's exactly what the man filming believes is going on. According to him, the waves on the water indicate that whatever is down there isn't that small. He's convinced that what he saw on the day he recorded this had to have been the legendary Loch Ness Monster. You know, the elusive creature that's said to reside in the depths of Loch Ness in Scotland. The very idea of it being spotted in the ocean is both thrilling and baffling. But hold on. Others argue that this mysterious creature might have a more mundane explanation. They suggest it could be a submarine silently gliding through the depths, its presence only betrayed by the subtle waves on the surface. Submarines are designed to be stealthy, so it wouldn't be surprising if one was quietly navigating underwater. Others think the man is trying to create drama where there is none. They think it could be just a normal flowing water and nothing more. You've seen the clip. Which of these do you think is the most plausible and logical? At first glance, you might think this is some sort of AI-generated image of a monster or even a movie poster for a new horror flick, but prepare to be shocked. This is actually a close-up image of an ant. Yes, you heard that right, an ant. Under normal circumstances, ants are tiny creatures that scurry out unnoticed, doing their busy work. We rarely get a good look at them, but with this magnified image, we see the whole new world, one that looks straight out of a sci-fi movie. You have to admit that the ant's face is both fascinating and eerie. Its mandibles and overall structure give it a monstrous appearance, something you'd expect to see on an alien planet rather than in your backyard. Isn't it incredible how something so small can look so terrifying up close? I know you love horror movies because of the thrill they give you, but perhaps you should take an interest in discovering what the small creatures around us look like up close. I'm pretty sure you would find them scarier than your average horror movies. Now, what do we have here? Before you scream alien or cryptid, you should know that this is someone's arm with body modification. It's insane or cool, depending on what you're into. The strange bumps running along the arm almost resemble the vertebrae of a spine, don't they? And that massive X marking on the back of the palm? People do go crazy about these things. Are you one of them? And would you try this? Let us know in the comments section. Speaking of strange things, take a look at this clip. What do you see? Hard to tell, right? A subscriber sent this in and we've been trying to decipher it since we received it. Some members of the team thinks it's a spider, but can spiders move their eyes like that? Others think we might be dealing with something alien. Based on the lack of availability of evidence and its lack thereof, I'm tempted to side with this assertion. The individual who sent it in doesn't know what it is either and refused to tell us where the clip came from. Let's treat this as a bonus clip. Who can find out what this is as well as where it came from? If you can and we can authenticate it, then you get the opportunity to be featured in our next clip. What do you guys say? Start your answer with the word bonus so we can find it easily. Now, what do we have here? The lower torso of a woman's legs in a pair of shorts and red heels. It appears to be attached to a table, moving gracefully among a crowd with a platter of food on it. This scene is quite the head-turner, like those mind-boggling magic tricks magicians perform on stage. But here's the twist. This isn't a magic show, it's an actual restaurant. It's fascinating to watch as the legs move cautiously, stopping just at the right moment when someone approaches to take food from the platter, never bumping into anyone. The coordination is so seamless it almost feels like an illusion. This intriguing sight begs the question, What are we really looking at? Is this some advanced piece of robotics at play, or is it an elaborate illusion with a person cleverly hidden in the table, bent over in a contraption to create this effect? Many subscribe to the idea of a lady bent over in there, but what do you think? Are you wondering what exactly it is that you're looking at? Well, believe it or not, this is man-made flesh. Yes, you heard that right. Scientists in Japan have created this incredible living skin. It's made with human cells and has the amazing ability to repair itself when damaged, just like real skin. Now, you might be wondering, why would they make something like this? The answer is fascinating. This living skin is designed for robots. Our once metallic counterparts will now be covered in skin that looks and feels just like ours and can even heal itself. It's like a theory from our imagination, but it's real and happening right now. This breakthrough could change the way we think about robots and how they interact with us. It's a giant leap towards making robots more lifelike and capable of performing delicate tasks that require a human touch. Imagine a robot that can assist in medical surgeries, providing the precision and sensitivity of human skin, or a robot caregiver that feels warm and soft to the touch. Okay, stop imagining. It's a bit creepy. But hey, who knows? It might just be what we need. And the interesting thing is, this is just the beginning. The future holds incredible possibilities as scientists continue to refine and expand this technology. I'm sure very soon we'll really need those tests that confirm I and you are human or robot.
What is that? Super frustrating. Might be the super people Maldakian. It's holding its position straight up and down.
It's one straight up and down and staying that way.
This footage comes from Sequoia National Park, where visitors noticed something truly peculiar floating in the sky. The object appeared to have a humanoid shape glowing with an otherworldly light. What's even stranger is that it seemed to be slowly rotating with its arms outstretched and one leg visible. The figure remained suspended in the sky, motionless. Many are speculating this is an alien being casually hovering above Earth, or perhaps a new type of drone or experimental technology. Whatever it is, the eerie glow and unusual shape makes it difficult to explain away. What do you think this strange entity could be?
What is that? Might be the super people Maldakian. It's holding its position straight up and down.
It's one straight up and down and staying that way.
This eerie footage comes straight out of Jaipur, where a burning car on the streets has left people stunned. The passengers had already been rescued, leaving the car engulfed in flames. But then, something chilling happens. The blazing car starts moving on its own. It rolls steadily down the street as though someone were behind the wheel, flames roaring all the while. The sight sent people running for cover and nearby vehicles scrambling to clear the path. What's even stranger is how controlled its movements seemed, almost deliberate, before it finally came to a halt. Locals have since dubbed it the haunted burning car. But was it really haunted, or could there be a more grounded explanation? Could the heat have affected the gears, or did gravity play a role? Still, the way it moved so steadily makes you wonder. Going to the dentist is a nerve-wracking experience for many people, especially when you know there's a good chance you'll need a tooth pulled. No matter how friendly your dentist is, it's hard to stay calm when you're in that chair. But here's something that might surprise you. There's a new invention where, instead of a human dentist, a robot examines your teeth. That's right, a robot. This device is controlled by a doctor on the other side of the screen. The idea is that this robot can perform precise and efficient dental work, potentially reducing human error and making the process smoother. But the big question is, would you trust it? Some people might find the idea comforting, thinking a robot could be more accurate and less prone to mistakes. Others might feel even more anxious, preferring the human touch and the reassurance that comes with it. Honestly speaking, I, for one, would be freaked out. What about you? Would you feel more at ease knowing a machine is handling your dental care, or would the thought of a robot poking around in your mouth make you even more anxious?
Yo, what's it? Yo! See that? Is that it? Hello? Yo, you see that dude? Look! Yo, get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Go, 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 go! Get the fuck out.
A group of teenagers planned a weekend getaway in the backcountry bordering remote forest land in Nassau, New York. They parked the van a few meters away and were relaxing in an open area when, out of nowhere, they noticed something moving through the woods near the van. Panic set in immediately and they began to run. The person filming was understandably shaky, but let's take a closer look at the footage. Slowed down. There it is, a dark, furry creature. It was walking on two legs almost stealthily until the teens noticed it. That's when the creature dropped to all fours and started chasing after them. You know those moments that feel like they're straight out of a horror movie? This is one of them. The footage is so creepy watching this creature move. It's disturbingly human but also wild, and the way the teen is panicking as the creature chases them down, it's intense and seriously chilling. What do you think? Was it a legendary Bigfoot sighting or an encounter with the mysterious Dogman? Some fancy it being a bear, but I don't know. I like the thought of it being Bigfoot better. Either way, it's a weekend these teens will never forget.
Yo, what's it? Yo! See that? Is that it? Hello? Yo, you see that dude? Look! Yo, get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Go, 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 go! Get the fuck out.
A man was out fishing in calm waters when his line suddenly snagged onto something big. Excited, he began reeling it in, but midway through, whatever was on the other end started to thrash violently, causing a stir in the water. As he kept pulling, the creature's lower half emerged briefly from the surface. What he hooked was not your average fish. It looked like a massive catfish. The sheer size of this creature was jaw-dropping, far larger than what you'd expect from the usual catch. The struggle continued as the beast aggressively wiggled, resisting the incredible force. We don't get to see the final thing, but what do you think this is?
Really hard to see. It's all clouds too.
There's a lot of talk about conspiracies surrounding secret agencies allegedly creating artificial weather like fake suns, clouds, and even rain. Let's examine this footage. A man noticed an unusual patch of cloud hovering over a body of water. At first glance, the clouds seemed suspiciously low, much closer to the water's surface than typical clouds. Then something remarkable occurred. From the side of the cloud, there appeared to be an emission of more clouds, almost as if the original cloud was actively producing additional ones, making it grow in size. Could this be a naturally occurring phenomenon like mist or fog interacting with atmospheric conditions, or are we looking at evidence of weather manipulation? Aaron thinks it's a UFO, but let's hear your thoughts on it too.
Really hard to see. It's all clouds too.
A man woke up one morning and headed out to his car. He then noticed it was covered in a strange dust. At first glance, it looks like regular old dust, but something about it seems off. So he gathers some of the dust and decides to run a little experiment. He grabs a magnet and waves it over the dust. To his amazement, the particles stick to the magnet. Now, this is no ordinary dust. It's magnetic, but where on earth did these magnetic particles come from, and why are they all over this car? There are a few possibilities that we're throwing around on a paranormal platform. One theory is that these particles could be from industrial pollution. Factories and industrial plants often release fine metallic particles into the air, which can travel significant distances before settling. If you live near an industrial area, this might not be so surprising. There are others who think that this is some secret government project. They really believe the government is out there releasing these substances via planes and other means for dubious reasons. While this sounds the most ludicrous, it's the one most believed by the community. But what say you? Now let's dive into the fascinating and bizarre theory shared in a viral video. The footage captures a stunning sunset with the moon rising in the sky. According to the person behind the camera, there's a mechanical hand moving the sun out of view and replacing it with the moon. Sounds wild, right? But take a look for yourself. On the right side of the footage, there's an object that appears to be moving by the sun. The intense brightness of the sun creates shadows, making it hard to discern if there really is an arm there or not. The light is so blinding that any object, mechanical or otherwise, would be difficult to see clearly. This individual believes we're witnessing a mechanical arm orchestrating our daily sunrise and sunset. This implies that celestial events are controlled by some advanced technology rather than natural phenomena. It's a leap from the scientific explanations we know and trust. What's your take on it? Real, or just a product of an overactive imagination? This user certainly does think it's the result of an active imagination, but let us know what you think as well. Watch this clip for a few seconds and you tell me what's wrong with it. Have you noticed it yet? If you have, kindly type it in the comments section. If you haven't been paying attention to the head of the passenger behind the bike, do you see it? There's actually no head. That's not possible, right? Well, that's what the writer thought, and that's why he began filming. If it was a trick of the light, the head would at least have become visible at some points before going invisible again, but that's not what we see here. The last time I saw a headless person riding, it was nearly Headless Nick from the Harry Potter series. We have an explanation for that one, though. It was not real, it's a movie. So how do we reconcile what you're seeing currently? Anyone care to help?
What is that? It's over there.
This footage, captured years ago, has left many viewers amazed and perplexed. A woman and a partner were inside a lift, seemingly enjoying a day out, taking pictures and videos of the surrounding skyscrapers. Everything appeared normal until their camera panned toward one of the towering buildings, inadvertently capturing something extraordinary. A flat, disc-like craft appeared in the frame, hovering near the building. In just a few seconds, it zipped across their view at incredible speed, moving from one side of the skyline to the other, faster than anything we know in modern aviation. Finally, it disappeared entirely, vanishing into the distance. This footage has been hailed by many as one of the most compelling pieces of UFO evidence ever captured. The speed, agility, and lack of visible propulsion systems suggests something far beyond our current technological capabilities. What do you think?
What is that? It's over there.
Holy sh! Holy sh! Holy sh! What is that?
A man shared a video recently taken during the early morning hours of September the 13th, 2024 in Virginia. As he was driving, he captured something incredibly strange in the sky. A bright bluish light stretched across the horizon, almost like something was breaching the Earth's atmosphere. It didn't look like anything he'd seen before. Some are speculating it could have been a rocket launch, but there was no official reports of such an event in the area or at the time. So what exactly did he capture? Could it have been a UFO or perhaps something else altogether? I guess we'll never know.
Holy sh! Holy sh! Holy! What is that?
There are a whole lot of people who live their lives solely based on their zodiac sign. Well, if you're one of them, I hate to break it to you, but you might be identifying with the wrong sign.
NASA did the math and realized that the ancient astrological calculations were actually off. Turns out there are actually 13 signs, not 12. There's a new one. It's called Ophiuchus. It's for people whose birthdays between November 29th and December 17th.
A new zodiac sign has been discovered, and now instead of 12, there are 13 zodiac signs. The addition is called Ophiuchus, and it shifts the entire zodiac calendar, changing all the dates allocated for each sign. So if you're still following the traditional system, you might want to check out this updated table. It could mean that you're no longer the sign you thought you were. Here's how the new zodiac lineup looks. Now take a look at where your birthday falls. Are you still the same sign, or has your zodiac shifted? Let us know your thoughts.
You were a Taurus.
No, I ain't no word. What you mean? What you mean word? New dates. Whoa. I'm an Aries? What the hell?
Do you notice anything odd and unusual about this clip? Anything at all? No? Well, those clouds don't look normal, do they? If it was just one, I could think of pareidolia or some other odd coincidence, but take a look at how they're consistently spaced across the sky. It's almost as though they're in some sort of formation or have been organized to be like that. The more I thought about the capture, the more I felt these things looked like UFOs. Aaron shared the same view, and once he was told it was captured in Mexico, he was certain that it had to be the case. He thinks they may be saucers cloaked as clouds and hiding. And you've seen the clip, so what do you also think? A man was out by the water's edge when he captured something extraordinary swimming by. The footage shows a figure with long black hair and a shimmering fish-like tail moving gracefully through the water. The creature appeared unaware of the man sitting nearby, gliding away as though it belonged to another realm entirely. Could this be a mermaid? While mermaids are often dismissed as mythical beings from fairy tales, recent encounters and sightings from around the world have reignited debates about their existence. With so many accounts surfacing, it's hard not to wonder if there could be some truth to these age-old legends. What are your thoughts? A lot of people don't realize this, but we're constantly being watched. Every moment of our lives is being recorded, and there's advanced software out there that can track down the exact moment a photo was taken. How? By using surveillance cameras all around us. Let me explain. Imagine a man taking a picture on the left side of the screen. On the right, you'll see footage from surveillance cameras capturing that exact moment when the picture was taken. The photo is fed into the software, and it scans all available surveillance in the area, identifying the moment when the picture was snapped. This is freaky. It means that our devices and surveillance cameras are tracking us whether we know it or not. What do you think about these types of inventions? Does it help society, or is it a sign that privacy is slowly disappearing from our lives? What comes to mind when you hear the word Romania? For believers in the paranormal, all sorts of lore come to mind, including vampires, werewolves, and what have you. Take a look at this clip, for instance. The clip starts off showing a parked vehicle. A few seconds in, we see a humanoid being or creature walk by the vehicle. While it does look humanoid, there's something unsettling about it. The individual whose camera recorded this uploaded it online, and once people knew it came from Romania, many theories started coming up. The theories range from vampires to werewolves to night creatures and what have you. To be honest, I can't blame them. A year ago, I would have screamed the same thing, but thanks to Julius's influence, I took a second look and started to feel it might just be an old lady leaning on the vehicle for support. Maybe she's got a dog with her on a leash as well. When such a scene is recorded on a low-quality camera, it can look otherworldly, which is what I think is happening here. But then again, that's just me. You guys can see the clip too, so what do you think? In July 2024, a man walking late at night in Bern, Switzerland, captured peculiar footage that has left many viewers, including some members of my team, puzzled. The video shows a strange bright tubular light moving across the sky, constantly shifting its shape. The object seemed to defy explanation, neither resembling a projection, orb, or firework. Its motion appeared deliberate, yet entirely enigmatic. What makes this sighting even more baffling is the absence of any known technology or atmospheric phenomenon that could explain its behavior. Could this be an extraterrestrial craft, an unidentified natural phenomenon, or something else entirely? Late one night, a man was driving home and decided to take a shortcut along a secluded path. As he navigated the dimly lit road, something in the distance caught his eye, forcing him to stop the car abruptly. Leaving his headlights on, he began recording what unfolded before him. The video reveals a man lying flat on his back in the middle of the path, his body shifting slightly to indicate he was alive. Looming over him was a dark, towering figure that defied easy explanation. Its movements were deliberate, yet strange, its form unsettlingly human. The creature was like a dark shadow that didn't resemble any known animal or person. What's even eerier is that it seemed completely unfazed by the car's presence, continuing to move around the person on the ground. The man in the car was frozen by the bizarre sight and made no move to intervene. What could this possibly be? How powerful do you think our sun is? You know what? Hold that thought and watch this. It's a sunny day, and this man has set up an extraordinary contraption in his backyard, a solar death ray. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this is no fiction. This man harnessed the power of the sun to create a focused beam of light with incredible heat. To demonstrate its power, he places a clementine under it. As he carefully directs the sunlight, something incredible happens. The intense heat burns through the peel almost instantly, and you can see the fruit's juicy interior begin to bubble and sizzle. It's like watching a science experiment unfold before your eyes. The heat is so concentrated that it continues to burn through the fruit, reducing it to ashes in no time. The transformation is dramatic. The vibrant orange clementine, full of life and juice, is incinerated right before your eyes, leaving only a pile of charred remains. While this is interesting to watch, a part of me wishes that juicy clementine would have just been eaten. Back in 2022, a powerful hurricane struck Florida, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Amidst the aftermath, a bizarre and terrifying discovery was made. This creature lodged in a wire fence. The creature had a snake-like body with a very long, menacing mouth filled with razor-sharp teeth. It had an almost crocodile-like appearance, making it look like something straight out of a nightmare. People who saw this online were quick to think it was a monster from the prehistoric era. They started to think that perhaps the dinosaurs and ancient creatures we thought extinct may be living amongst us. Naturally, conspiracies and many theories started to go around, but were they right? Well, no. This is no monster, but rather a fish called an alligator gar. Anyone who lives in the area knows about these creatures. But for individuals like you and me who may be seeing it for the first time, it might look odd and otherworldly. For those unfamiliar with them, alligator gars are large primitive fish that inhabit the fresh waters of the southeastern United States. They're known for their long torpedo-shaped bodies and their crocodile-like heads, which are equipped with sharp interlocking teeth designed for gripping prey. They can grow up to 10 feet long and weigh as much as 350 pounds. Despite their intimidating look, they're generally not a threat to humans, so you've no reason to fear. You're safe. Unless, of course, the crocodiles and alligators teach them how they develop feet. That's a terrifying thought. Think nothing of it. An observer out in the mountains captured these two glowing red orbs floating across the sky. The footage is strikingly clear, with the red light of the orbs even reflecting off the mountain below. These orbs appeared to be moving deliberately, almost as if they were surveying the area. What makes this sighting even more compelling is the clarity of the footage. Unlike the usually blurry or shaky videos, this one seems difficult to dismiss or attribute to hoaxes. But what could these orbs be? No one's sure, and everyone's just speculating. Are we looking at a genuine UFO encounter, or is there another, perhaps more terrestrial explanation for these mysterious red lights? What do you think? When this clip started to play, I started to hear horror music from all those clips I watched late at night when I was supposed to be sleeping. Let's just say I started to feel like that thing on the screen was in the room with me. That's at least the case till I noticed its legs disappearing in the glass with each step it took. Once I noticed that minute detail, it became AI in the driver's seat of this clip, and every fear I had of it disappeared. Suppose this was not AI, which I definitely believe it is. How would you have handled something like this coming out of your car? What comes to mind when you think of hemp, aka weed? cannabis? Probably something more in the line with relaxation or medicinal uses, right? Well, an inventive mind has taken things to a whole new altitude, literally. They've created a plane that runs on hemp. Talk about getting high to new heights. Imagine this, a sleek, eco-friendly aircraft soaring through the skies, its engines powered by biofuel derived from hemp. The craft itself is made from hemp composites, which are lightweight yet incredibly strong. This innovation is not just a flight of fancy, but a real testament to the versatility of hemp and its potential to revolutionize industries. Hemp has been known for its industrial uses for centuries, from ropes and sails to textiles and now aviation. The environmental benefits are impressive too. Hemp is a sustainable crop that requires less water and few pesticides than traditional materials used in manufacturing. This hemp plane is more than just a clever pun on getting high, it's a significant step toward greener aviation, literally. With growing concerns about carbon footprints and the environmental impact on air travel, this invention could pave the way for more sustainable solutions in the industry. So next time you think of hemp, don't just think of the recreational or medicinal uses, think of innovation, sustainability, and the exciting future of eco-friendly aviation. Before we move on to the next one, do tell me, would you be willing to book a flight on a hemp-powered plane? Now, what in the world is this creature? Someone shared footage of a bizarre white creature swimming in a fish tank. At first glance, it looks like some sort of toad, but it has this oddly human-like appearance. It almost seems to have a little face with tiny eyes and a mouth that eerily resembles ours. Some people are speculating it might be a mutated amphibian or a genetic anomaly. Others think it could be an entirely new species that we've never encountered before. And of course, there are the more imaginative folks who believe it's evidence of extraterrestrial life right here on Earth. Imagine having something like this in your aquarium. What would you even name it? And how would you explain it to your friends? African spiritual practices are deeply rooted in tradition, often involving rituals, chants, and ceremonies that may seem mysterious or even supernatural to outsiders. Now, take a look at this. This footage, taken somewhere in Africa, shows a group of people gathered around a massive bonfire. They're all seated around, playing drums, chanting, and some are moving rhythmically around the flames. But then something shocking happens. The flames began to move. It was growing bigger, and then out of the fire a person walks out. Covered in black cloth with white patterns, the figure steps through the roaring flames completely untouched. No burns, no signs of pain, as if the fire did not affect him at all. And the crowd also started cheering, celebrating, almost as if this is something they expected to see. Now, how is this even possible? Is this some form of black magic, a spiritual ritual, or just an incredible illusion performed in a way that most of us don't understand? Whatever it is, it definitely doesn't look normal.
How about this?
Whole bunch of silver darting objects.
At this point, the alien talk is so overwhelming that it's hard to know what's real anymore. Are these creatures actually here, or is the whole thing just made up by people chasing crazy theories? If you think it's all bells and whistles, no, wait, that's not quite right. Smoke and mirrors, I don't know. That's the statement I was looking for, I think. Anyway, if you think it's all smoke and mirrors, then it's because you haven't been to Louisiana. There's a family there who doesn't think the alien talk is crazy at all. In fact, they've got evidence. Early this year, 2025, their home security camera detected movement in their yard. Curious, they went to check the footage, and what they saw left them completely shocked. Right there, in front of the camera, appeared a mass of green smoke, but this wasn't just any smoke. It looked like it came from above, almost as if it had landed there. At first, it just seemed like a strange mist, but when you look closely, you can see a face forming inside the smoke, a humanoid shape with arms, almost like it was staring directly into the camera. The family had no idea what to make of it. Their daughter ended up sharing the footage on TikTok, convinced it could be some kind of alien entity. Others weren't so sure. Some believed it might be a ghost, while skeptics argued it could just be gas reflecting light. But if it was just gas, well, wouldn't the family have figured that out before sharing the footage? I've never seen anything like this before, and honestly, it raises a lot of questions. Before you decide to brush it off, though, remember that Louisiana had a strange case of unidentified drones earlier this year. Could they be linked? Maybe I'm exaggerating along with them, but what do you also think?
Aquí vemos esta grieta en el ejido Coronel J. Cruz Garvez. Pues no sé si CONAFOR podrá ayudarnos en estos lamentables hechos, pues aquí que se raja la tierra.
This footage taken in Mexico on September the 7th, 2024, shows a massive crack that appears near the city of Hermosillo. This crack is incredibly deep and stretches for a long distance, cutting through the landscape in a way that seems almost unnatural. Locals are baffled as there is no immediate explanation for what could have caused such a massive fissure. Could it have been the result of seismic activity or perhaps underground shifts due to erosion or water table changes? Some suggest it might be linked to earthquakes, while others believe it could be a sign of ground instability from human activities like drilling or mining. What do you think caused this crack? Could it be a natural disaster waiting to happen or something else entirely?
No sé, 4 metros yo creo que tendrá de hondo aquí la tierra. Métete en una zanja, chuluco, a ver qué tan...
If you love having clean, white, and strong teeth and use a ton of products to get the results, then this clip is for you.
3 worst things in natural toothpaste.
You really want to know?
I do.
Start with fluoride, sodium lauryl sulfate. Let's talk about oils they put in that kill everything. Toothpaste was developed by soap makers, 100 years ago. Even the color, that fluorescent blue, that's made from petroleum. It's a carcinogen. That was originally made from coal tar. It's now petroleum. It's a known carcinogen. Still using saccharin. They're still using aspartame. They're using chemicals that are known to be harmful.
You heard him right, and the funny thing is, he's a dentist, but being totally honest. Or is he? I did some research to confirm the information he was sharing, and boy, I was not ready for what I discovered. It turns out that toothpaste, which is a seemingly essential part of our daily hygiene routine, often contains a mix of ingredients that may pose potential risks to our health. Fluoride, one of the most common ingredients, is often debated due to its association with dental health issues when consumed in excessive amounts. Sodium lauryl sulfate, another widely used component, is responsible for the foaming action in toothpaste but can irritate the gums and mouth. Additionally, some brands include oils that indiscriminately kill both harmful and beneficial bacteria, disturbing the natural balance of the oral microbiome. Surprisingly, modern toothpaste formulations trace their origins to soap makers from over a century ago, and many of these ingredients remain in use today despite advancements in dental care. Moreover, some toothpaste brands use artificial colorants, such as fluorescent blue, which is derived from petroleum and contains coal tar, a known carcinogen. The sweet taste we associate with many toothpaste products is often due to artificial sweeteners like saccharin and aspartame, both of which have raised concerns regarding their long-term health effects. These synthetic additives, while enhancing taste and appearance, may expose consumers to unnecessary health risks. As we become more aware of the potential dangers hidden in everyday products, it's essential to consider more natural, non-toxic alternatives that prioritize oral health without compromising overall well-being. How incredible would it be to give your body a full year off from these chemicals and let it detox naturally? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Are there any alternatives to toothpaste you recommend? Drop your suggestions and comments below.
3 worst things in natural toothpaste.
You really want to know?
I do.
Start with fluoride, sodium lauryl sulfate. Let's talk about oils they put in that kill everything. Toothpaste was developed by soap makers, 100 years ago. Even the
What is this little guy doing here? A woman came home one night ready to relax when she noticed something strange stuck between her sliding window. At first, she thought it was just a piece of fabric or leaves caught in the frame, but when she got closer, she realized it was moving. It was a huge bat wedged in the gap, its wings slightly spread as if trying to free itself. The poor thing must have flown in by accident and gotten stuck when the window was shut. But what really stood out was its bright orange fur covering its head and neck. It looked almost golden under the light, something you don't normally see on bats. After looking it up, I realized it closely resembled a fruit bat, a species known for its vibrant coloring and large size. It's not every day you come home to find a massive bat wedged in your window. Maybe Count Dracula sent him. You never know these days. Next, we've got a clip that's got to be one of the most mysterious I've ever come across. It was shared by a man who was out solo hiking when he stumbled upon something strange. Right in front of him, partially hidden behind some bushes, was a furry creature crouched low to the ground. It had light, almost golden fur and didn't seem to notice him at all. The man had no idea what he was looking at. It was just a wild animal, or could it be something else? Not wanting to get too close, he carefully pulled out his phone and started filming. And then it moved. Seeing it move was enough for him. The second time it moved, panic took over and he didn't stick around to find out what it was. In his own words, he bolted out of there as fast as he could. We don't know exactly where this was filmed, which makes it harder to identify the creature. Some think it could just be a regular animal distorted by the angle and lighting. But others in the community suspect it could be a cryptid, but aren't sure what exactly the kind of cryptid it was. I know it's like picking out a needle in a haystack, but what do you think we're dealing with here? The Appalachian Mountains have long been a hotspot for strange occurrences and mysterious lore. Over the years, countless people have reported hearing odd sounds, seeing unexplainable things, and experiencing eerie sensations while visiting the area. Recently, a man living near the region shared a video of his unsettling experience during a hike in the woods. In the footage, he captures a deep, heavy noise, almost like a scratchy hiss, that resonates through the trees. The sound continues for some time, creating a tense and unnerving atmosphere. The man, clearly on edge, yells out, possibly hoping to scare off whatever was making the noise or even catch a glimpse of it. But despite his efforts, nothing appears in the footage. So what could be making these sounds? Some might say it's a large animal like a bear or a mountain lion, but the scratchy hiss seems unnatural for typical wildlife in the region. Others speculate that it could be something more elusive, perhaps a cryptid or something tied to the countless strange stories that surround the Appalachian wilderness. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about hypnotism? It's a fascinating concept, isn't it?
What's your name?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
You don't know your own name?
Take a look at this man hypnotizing people, making them forget their own names. It's wild. Just look at their faces. They've absolutely no clue what their name is. Completely blank. Now, Julius doesn't buy it. He thinks it's all staged. But what do you think? Is this real, or are the participants just playing along? Also, if you've ever experienced hypnotism or know someone who has, share your story in the comments. Let's see if there are some real-life encounters out there.
You no longer remember anything about your name.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, over here.
What? You got it, bro. You got it, bro. You got it.
This man was in the living room with his toddler, just spending time together, completely unaware that their security camera had captured something eerie. As the man sat on the floor playing with his child, take a look at the decorative mirror on the wall. Now watch closely. While they were distracted, a shadowy figure moved across the room, but only in the mirror's reflection. Look again. It appears to be a tall, dark figure, and if you pay close attention, you'll notice something even creepier. The shadow has a hat. For those who don't know, in the paranormal community, there is an entity known as the Hat Man. He is a shadowy figure that people most often see during sleep paralysis. Many have described him as standing at the foot of their bed, watching silently as they're trapped between sleep and wakefulness, unable to move. But this wasn't sleep paralysis. This family was wide awake, and yet somehow the Hat Man appeared in their home. Even more disturbing, the man was facing the exact area where the figure appeared, but he saw nothing. He felt nothing. It was only after reviewing the footage that they realized something had been in the room with them. So is this another version of the Hat Man, or what? And why was it even there? I guess we will never truly know. Not sure why people love to explore the woods at odd hours, especially with all the strange clips and sightings they have been shared on the internet. I've even lost count of how many cryptids and strange creatures have been spotted in the woods. Take this man for instance. He had parked his car by the woods, leaving his headlights on, casting light into the trees. He was just sitting there, lost in thought, until he noticed he was not alone. There was definitely something in the woods staring in his direction. It was tall and almost hidden in the darkness, but the glow from his headlights outlined its figure. Despite being exposed to the lights, the being just stood there completely still, staring in his direction. Not sure if we're looking at dashcam footage or footage from his phone, but whatever the case, the situation shook him and he sped off after a few seconds without looking back. Now, looking at this thing, it's obvious this isn't human. The big question now is, what exactly are we looking at? No one truly knows, but some say it could be a Slender Man, while others think it might be Bigfoot. These are all speculations, and I guess we'll never really truly know for sure what he encountered in those woods, unless we send Julius away to investigate. Imagine he encounters something paranormal and comes back a believer. That will surely be the happiest day of my life. Unless, of course, this video is fake and the uploader messed with us. And just like that, we travel back in time to the 21st of December 2024, where a man captured something extraordinary on US soil. The man in question was simply going about his daily activities as always when he heard a crackling sound in the sky. He looked up and saw this great streak. It was almost as if something or a higher power had divided the sky in half. As expected, he was startled and decided to record the clip and upload it online. Many who saw this were equally surprised, but not us, because we've seen this before. It happened once in Mexico last year, and the people experienced the exact same thing. There's a loud sound, they look up, and see a streak in the sky. Comparing both clips, we're tempted to believe there's something very fast moving in the sky and leaving the trail we are seeing, but what? Many in the paranormal community suspect it might be an alien craft, but Aaron, our conspiracy expert, has got a different opinion. He thinks the Air Force might be running secret tests with its supersonic aircraft. If you've been following this channel closely, then you know last year we shared stories confirming that the superpowers, aka the US, Russia, and even China, were developing supersonic crafts capable of going around the world in a few hours. Aaron believes these crafts are being tested secretly by our governments in the atmosphere. According to him, although they largely go unnoticed, sometimes they make so much noise and leave trails like this one in the clip. I know this one is reaching, but when you think about it, it's not impossible, is it? Just in case you're wondering what's going on here, that baby crib isn't for sale. No, this isn't an ad for a new crib. Instead, if you pay attention, you'll see a dark mass or shadow moving behind the crib. That's what got this clip on our paranormal platforms. But you have to ask, what exactly is that dark mass? The mother who uploaded the clip insists she's always noticed spirits around her children, but this is the first time she's somehow captured it on camera. If I were her, I wouldn't know how to feel about this, but members of the paranormal community point out that a dark mass like this could indicate the presence of an evil spirit around the children. It's not the kind of news anyone will love to hear, but what do you guys also think? Is there really a cause for worry here, or are we reading more into this than it deserves? Let's hear your thoughts. Some friends were out in the woods just exploring, looking for anything weird or unusual, and one of them came across this. It was a tree branch covered in clear jelly-like blobs, almost as if something had grown onto it. Inside these blobs, small, round, black dots. They were completely shocked, and honestly, so was I when I first saw it. But after some digging, I found out what it really was. Salamander eggs. Yep, turns out these strange-looking blobs weren't alien pods or some weird fungus, just nature doing its thing. Pretty creepy looking, but also kind of cool once you know what they are. What would you have done if you'd seen these at first glance? While driving at night, someone captured something strange in the sky. An orange light suddenly flashed through the clouds, moved across the sky, and then just like that, it vanished back into the clouds. Take a look at this again. It came out of nowhere, flew so fast, and then disappeared. It all happened in seconds, too fast for a plane, too strange for a drone. So what could it be? Most people in the paranormal community believe this could be some kind of entity, something not of this world. But skeptics argue it's just a reflection on the car window. But if that's the case, why does it seem to move with purpose? This image was taken at the Bohemian Grove, and it was captured in the early 1900s. In the image, we see a man sitting down with what looks like a demon or something along those lines by his side. If you look harder, you'll see other faces, including skulls as well, that are translucent. The uploader insists that this image is legit, but some are skeptical, thinking it might be edited. If you're familiar with the Bohemian Grove, it's easy to believe this is legit. If you aren't, it will sound like it's unbelievable. For those unfamiliar, the Bohemian Grove is a secluded 2,700-acre private campground in Monterey, California, owned by the exclusive Bohemian Club, a secretive and elite all-male organization. Every July, they host a 2-week retreat attended by some of the most powerful men in the world, including business leaders, politicians, and cultural influencers. The gatherings are shrouded in secrecy and are known for theatrical performances, informal discussions, and rituals like the cremation of care, which is a symbolic ceremony conducted in front of a giant owl statue. While members describe the retreat as a space for relaxation and networking away from public scrutiny, conspiracy theories suggest it involves occult rituals or secret policy making, further fueling its mysterious reputation. In fact, people who have snuck into it state they have seen things they can't speak about. A few who made it out with pamphlets from the gathering state they have uploaded some parts of it which feature a demonic being sweeping something. It's a lot, but what do you guys think about this? Have you heard the strange rumors? Do you care to share? These days, with how busy everyone is, fast food often seems like the easiest way to grab a meal. But after seeing this video, you might want to rethink that choice. This footage comes from a Wendy's where someone captured a stomach-churning sight. Rats crawling all over the burger buns. Oh, just look at that. Absolutely disgusting. And it's not just Wendy's. Burger King has also been exposed for using spoiled ingredients and unsanitary equipment in food preparation. Even worse, there have been reports of staff handling food with dirty hands. Then there's Chipotle, a place with its own long list of complaints. Back in 2015, more than 100 customers suffered from food poisoning after eating there. Investigations revealed that the restaurant was using the same cutting boards for raw meat and vegetables, allowing bacteria to spread. Their kitchens weren't properly cleaned, and faulty refrigeration system caused the food to spoil. These examples are just the tip of the iceberg, but you get the point. With all these issues, is fast food really worth the risk? Maybe it's time for us to get back to preparing our own meals. If you ask me, that definitely sounds like a healthier, safer, and more satisfying option. The paranormal community should be proud because the whole Bigfoot theory is finally making its way into the mainstream. Take a look at this footage. A group of Bigfoot researchers working with Discovery Channel managed to capture what they believe to be Bigfoot. In the video, you can clearly see a large bipedal creature covered in dark fur walking through an open meadow before vanishing behind the trees. And here's the thing. You can make out its features. This is not a bear. The creature has a domed head, long arms, and a massive frame. Nothing like any known animal in the area. So with footage like this getting more attention, does this mean we're getting closer to real proof of Bigfoot? Or will skeptics keep denying what's right in front of them? Unless, of course, it was planted in front of them. What am I saying? I sound like Julius. Bigfoot is real. We just need credible and undeniable evidence. Who's with me? Look at this and tell me, does this look like a human-made craft? Because to me, it definitely doesn't. Someone captured this flying in the sky and managed to snap a clear shot of it. Just look at its shape, the design, the way it moves, and it's flying fast. It's sightings like this that make it really hard to dismiss the idea of UFOs. People always say, no, it's just a drone. Let's be real. Well, does this look like any drone that you've ever seen? This next one comes from an older man who noticed strange things happening on his compound. Confused and perplexed by the whole thing, he had cameras installed on his property. Once the cameras were up, he started to capture the very things he thought he was seeing. It wasn't old age after all. They were real, and for the first time he had evidence for those who doubted him. Having evidence was great, but now the big question was, what were these shadow creatures he was capturing? Why were they in his home, and was he in danger? The quest for answers had him upload this online. My team thinks he's dealing with shadow creatures, but we could be wrong. You've seen the clip, so what do you also think? These photographs look pretty unique, don't they? Well, that's because they were captured by a man who claims to have created a camera capable of capturing interdimensional beings. Before you write this one off, take a pretty good look at the images. It turns out similar images were seen by some pilots during the Vietnam War. Pilots during the war were allegedly given special night vision goggles. These were some of the earlier iterations of the tech. One was blue and the other was red. Those who received the red were subsequently injected with a special substance to make using the glasses a smooth process. What happened, however, was unexpected. The pilots started reporting that they were seeing demons, or at least beings that looked like that, flying toward them. They started firing at these things that no one else could see except them while flying. It was so chaotic, and they had to stop using the technology. Some individuals, however, allegedly held onto them and are selling them on eBay if you are interested. Now back to the subject. Do you think they're truly encountering interdimensional creatures? Also, do you think there is a way to actually see demons using such tech? If there is, does it mean demons are all around us and we simply can't see them? I know these are a lot of questions, but please do share your thoughts on them with me. Speaking of strange things moving with purpose, take a look at this clip. It starts off like your typical CCTV cam footage. We see a man walking from the left side of the frame toward the right. A second in, and our attention is diverted to this ethereal-looking being that moves in from the opposite end and moves into or through the wall. If we're going to go by physics, well, that shouldn't be possible unless his molecules were vibrating at insane speeds. But then again, physics doesn't also say anything about ethereal-looking beings. What do you think we're dealing with here? While taking a shortcut home, a man came across something unsettling. A strange woman was walking directly toward him. She had a hat pulled down low and was carrying a large container completely hiding her face. She didn't acknowledge him, nor even make a glance, and she just kept walking, moving calmly and deliberately, as if she were in a trance. Something about her felt off. As she passed, the man tried to get a better look at her face, but he couldn't see it at all. It was like something was obscuring it, no matter how hard he looked. Terrified, he rushed home and later reviewed the footage he had captured. When he shared it online, people were freaked out. Many warned him to seek a cleansing ritual, believing that this was not a normal person, but possibly a spirit, an entity, or even a bad omen. So now the question is, who or what did he actually encounter that night? Speaking of spirits and demons, take a look at this clip a Reddit user named EvanServe6268 shared on one of our ghost threads. He allegedly records this from his doorbell cam, and it shows a shadow being or creature running across the walkway just as some cars go by. Naturally, this caused excitement in the community, and many were of the deal that this was the real deal. Some, however, were skeptical and chose to be logical and have faith. This user, for instance, mentions that there is a possibility of it being a shadow of someone coming from either side of the street, whose shadow had been projected in that manner due to the vehicle lights. Another affirmed this assertion by stating that he had had similar experiences. While many were initially excited for the possibility of dealing with a ghost, this excitement soon fizzled into a logical argument, with many agreeing that this could be nothing more than a projected shadow. You've seen the clip, so what do you think as well? A man shared an eerie experience he had during a drive. While on the road, he came across a restricted area with a single narrow path leading into the unknown. Out of curiosity, he followed it. What he discovered at the end of that path was like something out of a horror movie. A village completely abandoned and hidden by overgrown trees and vines. The home stood eerily silent, untouched by life, but also strangely preserved. When he entered one of the houses, he found it fully furnished. TVs sat in their places, children's toys were scattered on the floors, and the kitchen still had dishes on the counters. Everything was as if the people had just stepped out, except for the dust that coated every surface, proof that no one had been there for a long time. As he walked through the empty house, something caught his eye. The calendars in every house were frozen in the same year, 2001. It turns out this hauntingly empty village is located in Italy, and its residents were forced to leave in 2001 after a devastating earthquake struck the area. The damage was so severe and the risk of more quakes so high that the entire community had to flee, leaving everything behind in their rush to safety. What's even more chilling is that this isn't an isolated incident. Across Italy, there are many such ghost villages, entire communities evacuated after deadly earthquakes rendered their homes too dangerous to live in. As always, we start the day's episode with a wild and controversial one. This clip was recorded one night by a woman who was sitting alone in her room enjoying some fresh air. It was all she was meant to be doing till she felt something move in front of her yard. Curious, she investigated and discovered it was a small baby deer that looked like it was lost. It was the most innocent-looking thing she had seen in a long while. So she did what any of us would do. She pulled out her phone to take some pictures and clips of it. Once satisfied with her clicks, she decided to review her handiwork, and that's when she noticed something chilling in the background. Two odd-looking faces. They were there, right there in the darkness, with hollow eyes and unsettling expressions. At first, there was just one face, and then another emerged from behind it. The faces looked like they were floating, not attached to anything. And just as quickly as they appeared, they vanished. Naturally, the woman was terrified. The thing, however, was she never saw them with her own eyes. No, they were only visible in the clips and live photographs she had taken. Confused, scared, and perplexed, only in the few seconds of the live photograph. So what were those faces? Some believe it was just a trick of the light, but others say it could be something much darker, maybe even a demon with two faces. Honestly, I'm leaning toward that too, but why would they suddenly show themselves and disappear? Is this a warning? Or is the woman who uploaded this just jerking our chains? Well, half of my team believe this is real, while the other half is skeptical. Had you seen the clip? Would you be the tiebreaker we need? Just look at this clip and tell me, what the hell is going on here? A man was walking down the street when he spotted a woman dragging something toward the back of a van. But what exactly is she dragging? If I'm not mistaken, it looks like the dried-up remains of a human body. No flesh, no limbs, just a decomposed torso. And it gets even weirder. She's wearing gloves, and the remains seem to be attached to a metal rod, which she's using to pull it across the pavement. Seriously, but what is happening here? Is this some kind of sick prank? Are we actually watching a crime unfold on camera, or is there a logical explanation? We've combed the internet for answers and found none, so can anyone out there help? The lady you see on your screen currently is one of our favorite Amazon drivers who's always on time and never seems to mess up our deliveries. She's recorded this clip because she's been trying to tell people that one of the drop-off depots is haunted, and everyone just laughs at her. While a part of me might have considered her story as an excuse for them delivering my Christmas present on the 28th of December instead of the 23rd or 24th, leading me to explain to my nephews and nieces that Santa could be late sometimes, this isn't about me. Anyway, I digress. As she walked into the room, the locks just started opening by themselves even after she had closed them, and they opened again. Nobody believed her, and she was very happy to have caught it on camera. She even shared the clip on a number of paranormal platforms. While many told her she was onto something, a number of individuals pointed out the possibility of the locks malfunctioning. Some also mentioned that there was a CCTV camera in the corner and that it looks if the locks could be remotely controlled, it would be the I-team that was just messing with her. I mean, I don't think that's impossible, but you guys tell me what you think. Could we really be dealing with the machine malfunction, the IT team messing with her, or are there ghosts of individuals whose Christmas gifts weren't delivered on time and were very upset? Anyway, let's hear you out in the comments section.
Got a little camera! Thank God! What?
A truck driver sent this clip, and it's got us all in the office agitated. Listen. Do you hear it? There's someone banging against the container doors. That's not normal and shouldn't be the case. These containers aren't meant to transport living things, talk less humans. Not sure why he didn't help, but perhaps he was scared out of his life. Many who saw this clip are suspecting it's human trafficking, even though it was uploaded on a paranormal platform. What do you guys think?
Banging on the door of that container.
SpaceX has been launching a lot of rockets and satellites into space lately. It happens so often that people barely notice anymore. But let's be honest, some of these rocket launches look so strange in the sky that you might mistake them for something else. Now on March the 6th, 2025, two different people in Florida filmed something unusual in the sky. Let's take a look at this first clip. There's an orb-like object floating high above, and when the footage zooms in, you notice something weird. It's moving with this spiral pattern, almost like it's twisting through the air. And surrounding the orb, a cloud-like formation that seems to swirl around its center. It's also moving really fast. Now in the second clip, we see the same thing, except this time there are sparkles around it. Definitely an odd sight. As expected, many people immediately called it a UFO, maybe even something extraterrestrial. But then, knowing how often SpaceX launches rockets these days, could this just be a rocket after all? What if all these glowing orbs we keep seeing in the sky are actually just SpaceX launches? And if that's the case, why hasn't SpaceX come forward to confirm it? This drone footage was taken over the ocean, and the camera captured something incredible. At first, you see a blue whale swimming near the surface. Well, nothing unusual there, but right beside it, there's something even bigger, and that's when people started freaking out. Some believe this massive creature could be a MacLeod, the long-extinct prehistoric shark. But megalodons aren't supposed to exist anymore, and even if they did, they wouldn't be bigger than a blue whale. Blue whales are the largest animals on Earth, growing up to 100 feet long. Megalodons, on the other hand, were estimated to reach around 60 feet. So if this isn't a megalodon, then what is that massive figure in the water? A new species? A deep-sea giant we know nothing about? Or could it be proof that megalodons aren't as extinct as we thought? A woman was walking home late one night when she heard strange noises coming from a nearby car. As she got closer, she realized the sound wasn't coming from the car but from a sewer opening nearby. Intrigued, she moved closer and heard a low growl echoing from the depths of the sewer. The growl sounded like it came from some sort of creature, but what kind of wild animal could be stuck down there? While it's not impossible for animals to get trapped in sewers, this sound felt unnerving, almost otherworldly. However, not everyone thinks it's just a lost animal. There's a theory that monsters or cryptids thrive underground, hiding from the surface world. Could this growl be from one of those creatures trying to make its way to the surface? Let's have your thoughts on this one. Remember how the original submarine footage from Myrtle Beach, shared by the Upchurch guy, already had people on edge since he claimed he was being followed and ended up running for safety? Now this new man, who only got involved by helping him escape in his car transport truck, has found himself tangled in the same paranoia. He says ever since then he's felt watched. One day, he even caught a man messing around near his truck. Before he could confront him, the guy bolted, leaving him with no answers. Later, he checked his truck carefully and claimed to have found a tracking device attached to it. That discovery, combined with strange encounters with unfamiliar people, convinced him that he's being targeted, likely because of shadowy figures believed he's still in contact with the Upchurch guy. Now, if we take this at face value, it's pretty alarming. Tracking devices are used by private investigators, law enforcement, and yes, sometimes shady groups. It could suggest that someone really is keeping tabs on him. On the other hand, skeptics argue that when strange things happen after a viral incident, people might connect unrelated events in their minds and interpret them as part of a bigger conspiracy. But what about the original submarine footage that made it dangerous enough for people to start acting this way in the first place? Was it just something mysterious in the water? Or did it capture something officials didn't want circulating?
He was wearing all black, a suit, pulling out all these wires, and he was shoving something inside this bar here in my truck. So the only thing he could have been doing with all these wires pulled out like that is installing tracking devices in my truck.
And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go with our clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't, well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.